Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. Checking out Sue Chicken's box of blades. Time to have a look at another one. Let's see what's up next. This is it right here. Let's check it out. This is always exciting. Never know which one I'm gonna get. Oh, okay. This one I found pretty interesting. When I first looked in the box, as soon as I opened it up, I knew right away this was made in Pakistan. It had that look and feel about it. And it's this one here. Check it out. See that? As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is made in Pakistan. I wonder who makes this. Well, who was it made for? When I opened it up and looked at it, there was nothing on it that said anything about Pakistan. The interesting thing was, the only thing on it was that, which is kind of hard to see, but it's Frost Cutlery. And on the other side here, it says, and I'm not sure about this, but I almost want to say Bolling steel. And that's all it said. But, of course, Sue Chicken, being a very organized lady, which I only found out the other day, I was convinced Sue Chicken was a gentleman. Hey, my bad. Apologize. Here's what Sue said. Frost Grandfather Whittler. Packerwood. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Pakkawood. Packerwood. Pakistan. Whoa. From the 1980s. Wow. I think I was like only 50 years old then. I'm kidding. Bought it on eBay for $1.82. $1.82. Pretty nice knife, a little heavy, but solid. Okay, see there. Frost Cutlery Grandfather Whittler. Now, interestingly enough, the only reason I knew this was made in Pakistan is that I actually own a knife like that, not like this, but I believe it's called a moose. It has the two long blades just on each side. And it was made in Pakistan. That's all it said. And it was given to me by my ex-father-in-law who's passed. And that was a long time ago. I'm going to say 20 years ago. So probably about the same time as this guy. And I'll see if I can find it. I can't remember where I put it. This guy, the Grandfather Whittler, very nice. The thing that I've always liked about that knife that I had is it had some weight, and all the blades are thick, very thick. The steel I wasn't sure about. I'm not sure what this is, and when you look them up, they just say stainless. But this one, you can see the three blades. Pretty typical for a Whittler, although a Warrenclyffe, I suppose this is a pen blade. It's a little different, and I'll show you why. And that's why it's a Whittler. But you can see it here. Look at this blade, the just plain flat grind. Now, it does have your false blade on there. Now, looking at all these, they all do. Look at that. Even on this little pen. And the reason for that false blade, when you do that, you can get a better tip out of it. You can get a nice, clean, sharp tip on it, which is what you need for whittling. And they've done it on all their blades. Looking at this blade, the big guy, what is it, a spear, drop point? Kind of unusual because this is almost a sharp change. It's not a slow curve on the blade. Can you see that? It comes down and then shoots down. They may call it a clip. This is, when I first looked at it, I thought it was a pen. It's not. I'm having an old person moment. Can't remember the name of the blade. I know what it's for. But once again, you can see they did that false blade on it to get a nice point on there. See that?
And here is I would just call it a pen blade, although it's kind of has that slow inward, almost like a spear point. Very nice. The pucker wood, and then your very heavy bolsters. Now, they always do that on these Pakistan knives. They're very heavy. Look how thick this back is, and these heavy bolsters. It's very nice. It's a very nice knife. You know, I don't want to say that they're pretty, but they're solid. They are solid knives. And if you look at, you know, the liners on it, it's okay. You can see a little bit of gaps here, but you got to remember this thing is from way back. Yeah, it needs to be sharpened or maybe just stropped. Maybe we'll do that and cut a piece of wood. Grandfather Whittler from Frost Cutlery, of all people, to know that they actually used people in Pakistan to make it. Let me see if I can find mine. Look at me, I actually found it. Here it is here. See this guy? And like I said, it was given to me. The main thing, this is not a Whittler. This is, I think, just a general pocket knife. And I can tell you that you better have pretty sturdy pockets, because this thing has got some serious weight on it. Like I said, I believe that the design, excuse how dirty it is. I keep meaning to put this thing through the paces and clean it up. Maybe I'll do that and show you guys on a quick video. See that? Has that double... This one has double clip points. Very long, deep clips. You can see that the blades are exactly the same. And they have that long, deep California clip on them. Now, on this guy, don't know if you can read that, but it says stainless Pakistan. That's it. That's all that's on there. There's no other indications on it. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's brass, these bolsters. And like you can see, the big, heavy bolsters, very typical. I know that the skin on here is, I'm going to say, horn. And, you know, this knife, like I said, it's pretty old. It's probably from about, you know, the 1980s. It was about 20 years ago it was given to me. And it had been sitting in a fishing box, you know, tackle box for years. And you can see the bone has split there, right there. It's been abused. Now, the reason I know, say hello to Mary. The reason, no, it's not a Whittler, is because Whittlers typically don't have lockbacks. Look at that. See that? And like I said, I need to clean this up. So, you know, you release it just like a regular lockback. Pretty heavy. And you can see what I mean. It has that look, these knives from Pakistan. Here is the grandfather Whittler from Frost. And here is my one. Mine's bigger. But you can see both are heavily made. They are very heavy. Pretty cool. I've got to clean this guy up. Let's check out the blade, see what the lengths are. The main blade here. And like I said, I'm not sure if this is meant to be a clip. And it has, you know, the false blade on there. The swedge is, I think, the correct name for it. You can see it there. It's pretty obvious. And like I showed you, that drop off like that. This blade, from the tip to the bolster, 3 inches. And you can see it's heavy, thick blade. And that's why they're using that ricasso, so that they can get that tip. So that's the main blade. This little guy is, I'd call it a pen. The only thing is it comes to a very sharp point. It's almost spear point. Pretty thick for a little blade, penish type blade. And this guy, same thing again, tip to bolster, 2 inches. What do you think, Mary? That's my one. The other blade, this guy here. And still trying to think of the name of that blade. Lordy. But there it is there. And I'm going to think of it eventually.
They all do have nail nicks, and they all have this wedge. You can see this one has it as well. See there? So that you can get that point, which is, they're really smart about that because this, like I said, the steel is wide. Length of this guy, 2 inches. Huh. Same as the other one. You wouldn't think so. Just different style of blade. Let's cut a piece of wood. What do you think? No? That meet your approval? Sue Chicken will be happy to hear that. I got me a piece of wood. It's my indoor knife tester. Actually, you know what? I've got some basswood here. Probably better. It's a better wood for whittling. So let's give this guy the once over. We'll start with the big one, because typically on a whittler, your big blade will do the heavy initial work. I haven't done anything to it, so I don't know how sharp it is. You know what? It's pretty blunt. I'm going to strop it quickly, and you can see it's cutting it, but it's a really ugly cut. What do you think, Mary? My stropping meet your approval? Okay, we've got kind of an edge. It's a little cleaner. It's not a lot cleaner, but it was a very quick strop, and my stropping abilities are not that great. So like I said, I have a piece of basswood here. There's not much I can do with this, but I'm going to do a stop cut on it, and you just slice into it, stop cut, and dig in. If you have a slightly dull knife and you can't get it sharpened for any reason, you don't have a sharpener or something with you, pushing down like this doesn't cut the wood, it crushes it. It's not a good way. For your stop cut, it's okay, but when you go in, you should slice, and I'm using my thumb as the force behind the cut. So, and I'm trying to slice in, so that'll get you by and give you a cleaner cut when you slice. So you got your big blade, which will do the heavy work, and you know, you can get something. I will strop it, Sue, I promise, before I send it back. I'm just running it around, making it a curve on it. Can you see that cut? Now, on the smaller blades, you want that sharp point so that you can get in there and slice off the wood. By using the stop cut, you can bring out shapes. It's basically carving with a knife. And when you carve with a knife, it's called whittling. And whittling, you only use a knife and maybe sandpaper. Read that up. I was always wondering about that. So I made that stop cut, and I'm just making a curve here. So I can do different work with a smaller blade, maybe a little bit more delicate, and just slice it out there. So here we are there. You can see I've carved into it. And that was with this guy here, that kind of sharp pen spear point. Still can't remember the name. It will come to me. Kind of. This is not as delicate as that spear point, whatever you want to call it, but it will do the job. And slice in and curve the knife as I go. I personally don't think this is a whittling blade. Why don't you tell me what the name is in the comments below? I've got to change my blade to clean it up. Because if you look at that cut right now, it's a little ugly here. And you can see the relief is starting to show there. But this little guy ideally should give you a very clean cut. This is a better whittling blade, and it does a good job with the more delicate little stuff. And let me see. Slice in there. There we go. So here, hopefully you'll be able to see the difference. Look at this cut here versus that cut. And although this blade wasn't sharp, it's still a better blade to clean up. And you can see here, that's not very clean. It's fluffy. So you can see it looks a little cleaner now. And you would work your way around. So the different blades is what does the job. A nice knife, although the blades need a lot of work, and it will work. This, still can't remember the name. This blade here, I don't feel is a good whittling blade. If I'm looking, I would prefer to have a Warrencliffe to do that kind of work. Even a Warrencliffe does a good job that the pen will do. From Sue Chicken's box of blades. Very cool. I'm loving this stuff. It's great looking at these knives. Very nice. You know, this is an old knife, 1980. And you know what? $1.80, right? $1.82. Can't beat that. Oh, what to do? Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. We still got more knives from the box of blades. You all be safe out there, especially with these guys. Some of these Whittlers, the blades are sharp and shiny. Just saying. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.